Please pull up a seat, grab a cool beverage, dump it on your head because we are getting ready to chat all things Stepmom Summer with Brittany Phillips of Blending Bravely. I'm so excited. Drop a comment. Let us know how long you've been a stepmom and where in the world you're joining from. Brittany!
Hello!
Even though we've been connected online here for a little bit, this is my first time ever getting to sit with you face to face. So it's such a treat, and I'm just really grateful to have the chance to chat with you.
Yeah, I'm excited. I've always loved your stuff. I just feel like I know you.
First, on the off chance someone is watching this and they're not yet connected to you and what you share and how you support step families, would you just tell us a little bit about Blending Bravely?
Yeah. So I help women in blended families in many different ways, but I have like tons of free resources. I've got like digital resources. I love to make workbooks and things just so if you want to do things on your own. I also have group coaching and I do one-on-one coaching as well.
Brittany brings a really multifaceted, layered perspective to her work with step families as a bio mom, a stepmom, and an adoptive mom. I can imagine all the different ways that those lenses play with one another. And yeah, I'm just picturing like the optometrist office, like A or B? Which lens am I looking through right now? Can you tell us a bit about the makeup of your step family and how summers have looked for you compared to
Yes.
how they look this summer?
Yes. My blended family, I had my daughter that I adopted in my first marriage, and then my husband had his son. So we brought those together, and then we ended up having two more kids together. So yours, mine, ours type of situation. But summers have always been a little bit chaotic. Just because everything, like you get in your routine and it's kind of all planned and scheduled, and then summer's just wow, like this.
It's all out the window. Yeah.
Schedules, what, like, so my stepson has always been with us half of the time. Actually, we get him on the weekends. Every weekend we get him, and then we get him a little bit extra in the summertime. And it's unexpected. It's always changing. It's I don't know. And it
And
changes
he's
every
a
year too.
teenager. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. So he'll be 17 in like a month and a half or so. And then my oldest daughter is 14, and then our two youngest will be 9 and 6 next month. So like we've got quite a span of ages right now. So we're kind of like in the middle of chaotic parenting is how how I think of it. I'm the chauffeur a lot. I'm, just going to all the things. So summer's like I have like a love-hate relationship with it. Love it because structure is kind of out the window. We get to go do really fun things that we don't normally do. Have a lot of like go out, be in the nice weather. I love summer weather. I hate winter. We're in Utah, so it gets cold and
Yeah.
I don't like that. But I also hate how chaotic it can feel. So it's like I love this structure that we don't have as much structure, but I also hate that we don't have as much structure, if that makes any sense. So
makes total sense. I think also just something that's crossing my mind listening to you say that is what can be sort of freeing for one member of the step family can throw another one for a real loop.
Yeah, that's for sure true. Thinking about all my kids, and I think this summer's been hard for my stepson because he's felt really torn. He has like so many things he wants to do, and he has to really pick and choose. So kind of that FOMO, that feeling like he's got friends up at our house, he's got friends down at his mom's house, and it's hard. And going to all these camps and things in the summer that he does.
Something that I'm hearing from a lot of stepmoms that I talk to is that there's all the challenges once you're in the thick of it, but there's also just the day-to-day sort of recalibration you have to do in real time, and it becomes painfully obvious when you and your partner are not on the same page about how the summer's going to go. So can you speak to that a little bit, like from your own experience as a couple, what you've noticed?
My husband and I have very different parenting styles. we're very opposite in a lot of ways. I am a school teacher. That was what I used to do. And so I really like to have things planned out, kind of like scheduled out. And he's more like easygoing, doesn't get as stressed about when plans change,
Yeah.
and just very super flexible. And I'm not like rigid, but I want to have some structure. So finding our middle ground, and listen, like we can have things kind of planned, but not like it might happen 30 minutes later than we thought it was going to. And that
Right.
was hard for me to kind of like get on the same page. We also have like different perspectives about screen time and what that looks like, and especially in the summer.
Mm.
So we kind of had to find a place to meet in the middle on that, because if it were up to me, I'd be like, they should never have screens.
Sometimes it feels easier to take that all or nothing kind of yes or
Yes.
no approach to something like screen time. Like, let's just not even have a conversation about it. Let's just say no.
Yeah,
Because it's
yeah,
harder, because as soon as you invite yes, but up to a point, now you're in the area of negotiation and having to talk about it. And for many step
exactly.
families, I think it's just like, oh, it's one more thing. So
Right,
kudos to you for
right.
being willing to talk about it.
So we had to end up coming up with like a plan. Let screen time, for example, that it's changing, ever changing based on where kids are at. And in a blended family, it can be complicated if you have a co-parent
Yes.
that is like very flexible on screen time rules. I will call it that.
Yes.
That can be hard, that all of a sudden they're coming here and they're like, wait, we have a rule about this and it's not what I have at my other parents' house. That is a whole other dynamic that makes it feel complicated. We've had to kind of work out what this is what we're going to do at our house.
Mm-hmm.
Your other parent has different rules, but here's how we do it here. And finding what works for my husband and I too. So this year we have just decided like we're not going to have any screens until at least 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's just like a hard rule. My kids regularly ask before then, but I'm like, if I can just like hold to the hard rule, and then after that, usually they don't end up watching a lot of screens at that point because they've distracted themselves with friends or whatever it is that they're doing. But that's what's worked for us this summer. Obviously,
Mm.
it's been different other years, but it's hard. It's hard to know how we do this. So in the summer, I'm home all day long, right? The kids are here coming and going. My husband is sometimes at home, like
Mm.
twice a week he works from home, and then 3 times a week he's in his office. And so parenting and like disciplining all falls on me in the summer.
Even though our step family makeup is different, I've historically been the one working from home. Or I taught college years ago when
Mm-hmm.
my stepkids were quite a bit younger. And so I wouldn't teach in the summers. So I was home. And yeah, I really got sort of a crash course in how the mental load gets really heavy really quickly. And what I
Yes.
was struck by was that I think I was like, boy, my husband and I think, do a pretty decent job of getting on the same page and sharing in a way that feels good to the two of us the
Mm-hmm.
responsibility of overseeing this stuff. But man, if he's not here, like if our setup is such that you are the parent in the house, that's a whole lot that can come up in the course of a day.
That's complicated, right? Yeah, and it feels heavier in the summer because that's a lot more hours that you're with them.
I've talked about this in relation to the holiday season, but I think summer is probably right up there where we just collectively as people tend to romanticize this time of year a lot, right? It's like
Mm-hmm.
meant for fun and relaxation. So it can be a clunky time to try and implement, here's the screen time structure, kids.
Right.
So I think many
Yeah.
stepmoms, understandably, they have a lot of kind of anticipatory stress and anxiety in the run up to summer because they're anticipating those conversations and a little bit of
Right.
friction there.
And I know a lot of families that I work with, their schedules like completely like 180 in the summer, right? They go from having like kids all the time to not seeing the kids at all in the summer,
Yeah.
or vice versa. Like it is feels like it can be one extreme or the other. It just changes everything, and change is rough, right? It's hard to get in the routine of something and then just kind of like feel like the rug is pulled from out underneath you.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, well, we had that figured out, and now we're gonna do something different. That's something that it was hard for me to wrap my brain around until I was in the middle of doing that. Like, why this would be hard to have a new schedule, have a new routine in the blended family dynamic. I hear moms that are just biological moms anyway kind of complain about summertime. Add in blended family, step family stress, and it's just a whole different level.
I think that is so true. I can really relate. And also, just a quick plug for anyone who, again, if this is your first introduction to Brittany, something I really, really appreciate about how you share about your experience in stepmotherhood is coming from this place of real humility. Like I hear you over and over again sharing, I sort of thought it would be this way, and then lo and behold, and I just think it underscores the gap that can be between our best intentions. We're coming from this really wholesome place in our step families, and it goes over like, obviously when you're revisiting in the rearview mirror, it's a little less emotionally charged and you can actually
Right.
like pull wisdom from it, which I just think the way that you distill that into how you share is just such a gift in this
Oh,
space
thank you.
this particular summer. What has been serving you well?
Something that we have done this summer because I'm trying to work and have everybody home. I was like, I need some of my time. I know that when I like can get my things done, like take care of myself, that I can show up better for everybody else. So that's kind of a mindset shift that I didn't used to have. So prioritizing what I need to do. So I need to get my work done. So I've put into place, like, everybody has their job list and they have to get their jobs done before they can go play with friends, before they can even think about having screen time after 3. um, and it's like, it could be whatever you want it to be, but in our family it's things like they need to practice their math facts,
Mm.
read a book for a little while, um, their room needs to be clean, get dressed, like basic things. And then my 2 girls, they have to get some Chinese practice in. They go to a Chinese immersion school. So I'm like,
Cool.
I don't speak Chinese. You got to like keep that fresh in your head because I don't know that. Anyway, and I try to keep it like they can do it in fun ways, like turn the math things into a game, like that type of thing. But they all know what their responsibilities are. And my kids are at the age, like the youngest is 6, that they are quite independent.
Yes.
And so do that while I do this. And then we can go do something fun later this afternoon. We could go to the pool, or we could go to the park, or whatever it is. I'll take you to the mall and we can have fun together after we all have gotten our jobs done. So kind of like this, first we work, then we play. That's kind of our structure. It's not super rigid, like you have to do it at this exact time. So it's like, when you get it done, great.
Yes.
And we won't do these other things until it's done. So that's the motivation.
And I love that idea of structure with flexibility, or like structure that allows for flexibility. If you finish this,
Right.
then we can move on to who knows what. And it's within that who knows what that you have room to play around with different ideas and get input, I would imagine, from the kids on how they'd like to use their time. But I love that. And we've seen the benefit of that too. It incentivizes taking care of that first part of the day so that then the rest of the day is yours, how you want to
Yes.
spend it.
Yeah. And I'm like, and it benefits me, it benefits them, it helps them
Right.
know that I think it just, first we get our work done and then we play.
Yeah. Yeah.
Work is important, but play is equally as important.
We all need it. That's for
But
sure.
I found that kids in general, just they love predictability, they love structure, but if it swings too hard one way or the other, that can get a little tricky. Like if there's no structure, that feels unsafe, right?
So true.
Um, if it's too structured, it feels like a prison. And so it's like finding the happy space in the middle for each individual. In our family, we have a lot of neurodivergent children. And so it has to be flexible.
Yeah.
While being a little bit like very much predictable.
It's like a supportive container around the flexibility that allows you to still shift and change as you need to, for sure. And I
Yeah,
think, I mean, with your background in education, like, I'm sure this is something that you've thought about for years, but it's so helpful to give kids a why connected to expectations of them. Communicating why isn't just respectful of them, it also gets some buy-in from them. You can kind of
totally.
help them connect the dots, like, oh, I actually do better. My brain does better if I'm able to approach it this way. And yeah, I just love that you have been, sounds like, implementing that for many summers now.
I love what you said about teaching them the why. That's something I like to help my kids with. So I have some kids that I'm like, you have to remember to eat lunch. Your body needs fuel. And if we don't give our body fuel, right, that it's just going to have no energy and you won't be able to do any of the fun things that you want to do.
I think a value that we both share is summer is supposed to be fun for us too. It's about facilitating fun experiences for the kids, giving them space to think creatively about what they want to get into in the summer. But ideally, it's enjoyable for all of us. And I think
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we focus, and maybe this is also a function of just working with step families in this space, that we tend to focus on how can you plan fun family trips? How can you make great memories with the kids and overlook that essential? What is filling your cup this summer? What can make it a summer for Brittany to remember?
I've been doing this for probably the last maybe 2 years, but I make sure I go on a walk every single day, rain or shine. But I was just telling my husband that summer is my favorite time. Like I never dread it in the summer because it is so beautiful. I go at night after the kids are in bed. In the summer, I can. I go, it's like 9 o'clock or 9:30 sometimes, and it's just like the smells and the all of it. I'm like, this is the best, and I just
Yeah.
love it. I love it. So that seems like a really silly, like it's really simple thing, but I really really look forward to it. Another thing I like to do is I love to travel. Like that is like why I do a lot of a lot of the things I do. I'm like, we're gonna do this so we can go on this fun trip. And so in the summer, like I usually am like, here's what we're gonna do on our trip this year, and we like to go on a family vacation every single year. That's kind of a non-negotiable
Mhm.
for me
For us
because
too, yeah.
I find it so important for us to have the connection, make those memories, and it doesn't have to be a big deal. Like it doesn't have to be extravagant every time. It could be even like just a stay at home, stay in the city vacation type of thing. But I look forward to that change of pace just for a little bit, doing something where we're not all stuck in the thing that we're doing every day. Maybe my older kids like on their phones the whole time, but if we can like pull them out of the norm, get
Yes.
them out of that for a little bit, right? So that is for me, but it's also for the family.
Yeah. I love those too because it's not just solo and family, but it's also free and highly repeatable, and then something you can save up for and plan on. I enjoy a daily walk too, and we also have a summer family trip. And for us, I mean, obviously some trips go more smoothly than others. That's just like the nature of doing
Right.
things as a group. But I really value it. And I'm always struck when I talk with clients or other stepmoms that I meet who really dread the idea of travel because it feels like, oh my gosh, we're taking what already feels like kind of a shaky baseline at home and we're taking that show on the road. Any kind of a mindset shift or encouragement you would offer to a stepmom in that situation?
Yes, this is what I'm working on myself
Love it.
forever, the rest of my life, is that I usually have this vision of like what a perfect family should look like or what the
Mm,
perfect mom should be doing. And I have to challenge myself in that a lot because my kids are not like my kids are awesome and I love them so much, but they challenge me and they're not perfect in that like sitting perfectly still and
right.
perfectly quiet. They don't do that. We're not
They're
like
real
that. That's
kids in the real
yeah.
world. Yeah.
That's not us. So we go out and sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this is happening right now. Like, what are they doing? Why won't they listen? Like, what have we done? Why did we bring this out here? Like you were kind of saying, this chaos, why are we inviting it into the world for everybody to see? And reminding myself that there are zero perfect families, even though some might show that that's not reality. And I actually, this is a sidetrack, but I've heard multiple times that the kids who feel safest are the ones who are able, feel like they can express their feelings and those things, and maybe they will throw a temper tantrum in the middle of your vacation because they feel safe expressing those emotions. And so I have to remind myself, like, oh, my kids know that this is a safe place to have these big feelings everywhere
Look
we
how
go.
safe they feel. Yeah.
They are so loved. And but just always checking in with myself, like, is this like an unrealistic expectation that I'm holding over everybody in my family or holding over myself? And then just kind of stepping back, and it's okay. Motherhood or parenthood or family life doesn't have to look like this. And when I can let that go, I'm able to enjoy what is actually happening a lot more.
Beautifully said. And I think that is, what more could we hope for, really? That is doing actual step family life in real in real life. So
Yeah.
yeah, thank you so much for that, Brittany. For people who are catching the replay and want to follow up with you and learn more about you and how you work with step families, where can we send them?
Yeah, you can find me on TikTok or Instagram. My handle is It's Me, Brittany P. Brittany is spelled Brittney. I also have my website. It's blendingbravely.com.
Fabulous. And we will drop all of the info when I save the replay here so that you can connect with Brittany all the different ways. But this was a total treat. Thank you so much, Brittany.
Yeah, thanks so much for inviting me. This was fun to chat
Yeah.
with you.